Hello and good morning to you. Happy Wednesday morning. How are you doing today? Apologies for coming on a couple minutes past 8. Had a little bit of technical love from the platform. Always fun when trying to get live on in the mornings. How are you guys doing today? How's the week going so far? Good morning to you over on Twitter. Good morning on YouTube. Good morning on LinkedIn. So listen, guys, today I'm not going to take a great deal of time. I wanted to talk to you about something near and dear, which is branding related. It has to do with your brand identity. All too often when folks hear the term branding, they often default to thinking about a logo, right? That's where people start. And I'm the one that comes along and says, heck no. Heck no, you do not start building a brand with a logo. There's so much that comes before it. But I'm not going to discount it. I'm not going to tell you that your logo is not important. There are so many other things that I would want for you if this is your the first time that you're giving thought to your personal brand. There are good many other things that you should be giving thought to, namely having a really great foundation laid, understanding your purpose, understanding your vision and goals, understanding who you're looking to serve. And after you are clear on those things, then I would encourage you to give thought to your brand identity, the things that include your colors, right? Your typeset, your font selection, your images, your photography, and your logo. And there are a few other things, but for your personal brand, those are key elements, right? But the important thing about developing a personal brand as it relates to your brand identity is that you begin to create a professional appearance online and offline. That when you put your mark on something, when you are creating a campaign or a project or a website or a social media post, that your brand is clear, right? It's clearly coming from you. And one of those things that are going to separate you from others out there is your logo. And a logo has a couple different components. And it's not just one image, right? There are variety of ways that you're going to design that logo. And so I am going to share with you guys a slide today to kind of articulate my thoughts in just a minute. But who's a personal brand that comes to mind when you think of somebody who's done it at the highest level? In the comments, I'd love for you to share a brand, a personal brand that you have the utmost respect for. Right? You've been watching them, you've been following them for some time, and you are just impressed with the consistency and that cohesive look and feel that they've been able to maintain over time. Who, from a design standpoint, from a branding standpoint, who are some of those personal brands? I'm on a 10-second delay, so I'm sure some of those will come up here in a second from when you're hearing this and dropping those comments in the comment thread. But hey, listen, there are a couple key things that I want you to be familiar with. One, when you're designing a personal brand logo, I don't think, my personal opinion, my humble opinion, I don't think you need to necessarily be like McDonald's, right? And you must have, you know, uh, a brand guideline web page, right? And have all this stuff outlined, every last brand element. But I do think, again, I'm coming back to the element of color, right? Color is one of the first things that somebody perceives from a brand. And it's often going to leave them with an impression of you within a few seconds of interacting with your brand. Color is that important. And so you want to make sure you select some colors, and you also want to make sure that you have a font, a style of font that you're going to consistently use across your digital assets, your social assets, your presence online and offline. And so you could simply choose to create a logo just with words, what we call a word mark, right? It's a font based, it's a text only logo that focuses on just your name. You don't have a symbol, right? You don't have what's called a brand mark, right? You're just using your name. So if you were to select, and this is the simplest way for you to probably approach this, right? Something you could probably open Canva and do for yourself if budget is a concern. But you could select a font pairing. You could go to Google Fonts and select a really clean, legible font pairing and create a logo for yourself in a few minutes. That's the least expensive, fastest path to getting that done. Now, if you say, Stephen, I'm not that guy. I don't trust myself with design work. I need help. There are many options available to you. You could explore a platform like Upwork. You could explore Fiverr if you're really looking at the lower side of the scale. You could explore a crowdsourced design platform like 99 Designs, or you could just outright hire a graphic designer. And all of these options depend on kind of the budget that you have to spend. If you're looking for free 99, you can jump in Canva and get that done pretty on the lower side, right? And you could go explore a graphic designer. In fact, good morning, Christophe. I see we have somebody here from France. I'm a graphic designer. You could go, message Christophe, right? I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. But good morning, and thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Annette. Good morning, Ralston. Good morning, Sheldon. Appreciate you guys hanging with us over on LinkedIn. But listen, there are brands. Earlier I asked, of brands you know about, right? And really quickly, I'm just going to share a quick slide here. Let's see if I can get this done without much issue. But I'm still not seeing any responses. I thought for sure somebody would drop like an Oprah or an Ellen or a Tony Robbins in the chat, but didn't quite happen that way. But let's see if I can get this shared. All right. So I'm showing you a couple examples of some logos on the left side of this slide. Right. Uh, and there are people like Malcolm Gladwell, Tony Robbins, Michael Todd, Marie Forleo, Michael Hyatt, Nicole Walters, dear friend of mine, past guest of the podcast, Brene Brown, Simon Sinek, Start With Why, Emerald is the food man, right? What's the common thread with some of these logos? There's no symbol. It's text only, right? What we call that word mark. I encourage you guys to see um, and maybe go explore, right? Some of these individuals and look at how they showcase their personal brand. There's not a great deal happening, right? If you have a symbol, if you have an icon, a brand mark, which is a graphical piece of that logo, um, you can use that in places like your profile picture, on social media. Maybe in place of your face, you want to show your brand mark. I prefer that you use your headshot and let people see your pearly whites. But you can use a brand mark in a couple places, but it's not necessary for you to get going right away, right? So, um, encourage you though to give thought to designing a logo, and when you are giving thought to that, no matter where you're going to go to get this done, if you're going to use a platform like Upwork or Fiverr or even another graphic designer, there are a couple key tips that I want you to take away from this conversation. Namely, I want you to give thought to the fact that your logo is not just a single file, right? You are going to want to give thought to how your logo is going to appear in different environments. So, yes, you might be designing the logo to appear on a website, or for you to use at the bottom of one of your quote cards for Instagram. And you might just need, that digital file. But I want you to think bigger, because maybe one day you're going to author a book. Maybe one day you're going to be on stage. Maybe one day you're going to run an organization onto your personal brand. And you're going to need that logo to appear on signage, on print material. Maybe you're going to embroider your logo on a polo shirt. No matter the case, you need to start giving thought to how that logo is going to appear in different environments, in different use cases. So you want to give thought to both a horizontal as well as a vertical, layout, if you will, right? Is it going to be able to showcase itself properly, in different dimensions, different graphic dimensions that you need to have created. Also, if you're designing a logo, let's say in the Tony Robbins example shown here, right? Tony Robbins has a logo I'm showing you in all black. If I only had this in all black and I try to go put it on a quote card, or even on a black t-shirt, what's going to happen? It's going to disappear, right? So when you have a designer doing your logo, again, if you're not a graphic person, you want to ask them for that reverse, right? You want to have that logo in all whites, right? If it's darker colors, or if it's lighter colors, then you want it, in the reverse, in the darker colors. You want to make sure you have both options there. Other things you want to keep in mind. You want to also ask for different formats. Sometimes you're just going to use that JPEG or that PNG, right? A JPEG file is friendly for web usage. A PNG file takes away that white background from behind the image, from behind the logo. But that's not the format in which that logo was designed. And so if you have a designer creating that graphic for you, you want to ask them for that vector file, that native file for the program in which they designed your logo. So if they're creating it in Adobe Illustrator or in Adobe Photoshop, you want to ask them for that .ai file, .adobe Illustrator, or that Photoshop file, .psd, right? Get that vector file from them. If you're using Fiverr, oftentimes that's an additional amount to the gig. You want to pay for that. You want to make sure you have that native file for your logo design. Why? Because you might not always use that graphic designer. There might come a point where you're going to use a different designer. There might come a point where a printer or a different type of vendor actually needs that vector file, that native file to do what they're doing, to select a Pantone color or to do something different, right? So make sure that you're giving thought to the variety and the formats of your logo again, right? So those are some quick tips when it comes to logo design that I thought I'd share for those of you who are not yet, had time to work on your personal brand, but you given thought to doing so. Maybe you're wanting to do more this year under your personal umbrella. And this is one of the things you're giving thought to. I'm a brand strategist. I develop courseware for personal branding. I have, some great things coming up this summer, so stay tuned for that. More to come in the weeks ahead. But if you have questions about personal branding, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help. That's all I got for you today. I want you to join us on Friday. We are going to be having a fantastic conversation that I'm so very excited about with the amazing Julia Rock of Rock Korea. She's going to be joining us. We're going to be having a conversation about leveling up your resume to get results. For those of you who are probably, in a career, you're giving thought to shifting things up. You're wanting to make sure that your resume, your LinkedIn profile is on point, and you're prepared to command results, right? To get results, to get noticed, to stand out from the crowd. You want to join us this Friday at 8 a.m. as we are always on every Friday morning for Trailblazers, and sharing some good stuff. Hope you found value in today's conversation. If you did, please go ahead and share this video with somebody you think it might impact most. I will see you on Friday morning. Have a blessed day. Cheers.